Things are a little bit tough in the world right now. The news is really heavy, the market is fluctuating, and you might be wondering what this means for your online business. What should you be offering? What should you be charging? You probably have a lot of questions and are unsure of what direction to go in. Well, I'm going to make a case for you today and in the next couple of episodes on why I think you should go up versus go down. And that requires learning and using skills as a qualified business strategist. Now, with the rapid pace of change, including AI, you might be wondering, well, what is the role for me in my business? And that's a really good question because there's been so much disruption that it's hard to know what to do now, let alone what's going to be required in the future. But there's one thing I want to point out. There are still a number of businesses in a number of industries that are doing really, really well. And my advice is to think about how you can serve those businesses instead of trying to serve so many people who have not honed in their value proposition and are still in that highly experimental phase and are not sure or confident of the outcome that they are able to get. Those people are buying less right now. Those people are waiting in the wings to see how things turn out because they are in a high risk position and whether or not their idea is going to take flight. And that makes a lot of sense because in boom times, there's a lot more money in the market, a lot more people buying things, a lot more people buying things to get help to do things. And that ends up trickling down to just more for everyone. But when things are tight, the bottom really falls away. That big base of people who are just trying things or making decisions on a hope and a dream, those really start to dissipate. And that's not the market that I suggest right now focusing on if your business makes sense to do that. Now, there's always going to be a case for you being the successful business owner who has, say, the low ticket membership or can sell courses because there are industries where people are still eating up information in those topics. And I work with those people. And that's what I'm just suggesting to think about is there a way for you to work with those people? So if you are a coach, consultant, marketer, and you want to level up your skills to provide even more value to the people who are actually earning, to the people who are successfully producing value in the market right now, then listen up. We will always need strategic thinkers in the world, people who can take a big picture view of a situation, know what questions to ask, know what kind of information to look for and data to research in order to come up with a plan to move forward. And it always surprises me how few people are actually resourcing those people. There are so many people who are getting advice from the wrong places or not getting any advice at all, and then are just stuck on what to do next, not making great decisions, not knowing how to recover from those decisions, optimize, and then move forward. And that is why strategists will always be necessary and in high demand from the right people, the people who actually have the cash flow to be able to afford them. No matter how advanced things get, one thing will never be automated, and that is strategic thinking. Because businesses will always face complex, high stakes decisions, and those decisions require human judgment, creativity, and the big picture thinking, something that no AI tool or automated system can replace. And that's where strategists really come in, and why tech and AI won't be solving this gap anytime soon. The reason why is because the technology that you're using is only as good as the questions that the business owner is capable of asking it. It can source any kind of answer in any type of way that may or may not be producing anything informative. You still have to be able to process the information and decide what is really going to make sense, what is really worth looking at further, and what isn't worth anything and is just clutter and junk. And that's where you, as a strategist, come in, because you can even use AI to access and source information, but it's the dissemination of that information that's going to make you an invaluable asset to the business. The truth is, AI doesn't understand nuance. It can generate ideas, analyze data, and automate the process, but it's not going to make those judgment calls. It doesn't know the context of the business. It doesn't factor in leadership styles, team culture, or the unpredictable human side of decision making. And so that's one of the roles right now that is never going to be replaced, because you can ask it a question, should I do this or that? And it likely not going to provide you a really good reason why one answer is better than the other. And that's not going to help us make good decisions, right? So the role of a strategist is the person who connects those dots between ideas, industries, tools. It takes past experiences, it takes observations from other industries and other markets, and brings them into the current business from areas that have never been connected before and that you would never find a source of that. And that is the beauty of that role. And that's why I'm going to encourage you to think about how you can step more into this role and really learn how to go about doing this. Now, I think it's important to tell you a little bit about how I got here. I started out my journey as a life coach. I really wanted to get out of the cubicle and start helping people go after what they want. There was something inside me that knew that I could optimize, that I could create more, and I was very future focused. So I got into that role, but the moment I started working with people, I realized that I loved small businesses, I loved entrepreneurs, and I really liked helping people map out complex ideas and then take the steps to make them happen. And as I went into that a few more years, and every year I just got more and more excited about business, and I realized that I was actually more interested in doing advising and helping really lead and guide business owners than I was being a more general coach who let them lead and decide what they were going to do. I wanted to help them with the gaps that they had, the things that they didn't understand and know about, and really help fill that in for them. So 7 years after doing that, I ended up taking business strategy training, and that made the biggest difference. That was the first big aha moment, the first pivotal moment in my business when I made the decision to take that training and actually get the tools, some of which I still use now, to take my clients on a journey to understand what the core issue is that they're facing right now, which is often different from what they think. A lot of our clients will get focused on certain numbers or certain experiences, and they don't know how to break down what the real issue is behind that. And that is where you get to put on your detective hat and you get to bring in all the information, all your experience, and start to figure out what is actually going on. What is really the biggest hole in the business that's sucking out the profit and preventing them from moving on and earning more and all of that. And that is often your first job. And that's what these skills helped me to do. It gave me the tools to figure it out, tools that I didn't have before and would have taken too long for me to create on my own. So I have a whole bunch more now, but at that time, I needed those first few ones to really help me bring together a cohesive picture so I could provide real value and real support to the people who I was working with. And then that's what I did. I started working with business owners. I started helping them figuring out what their biggest gaps were, figure out what they really wanted to create, how big they wanted, like where they really wanted to go. And then I give them a simple plan to make that happen so that they could take all the complex decision making out of what should I do next and make it really obvious for them what they needed to do next based on what they were willing to do and where their opportunities really lay. So that was just so fun for me. And I've continued to do that for the last 10 years. And now I want to help you do the same. As I begin to gain more and more confidence, more growth, charge more, continue to add value this way, grow my revenue, grow my expertise. I want to help other people use their strategic thinking to do better work with their clients and advance their own role in their business. And that's why I'm going to be piloting a strategist training program that's going to start in the next few weeks. That's going to give you all the tools and give you all the support and teach you how to do this for your own business. So whether you're a coach, marketer, consultant of any kind, anyone who has an interest in serving other businesses, I would invite you to check this program out because it's going to be jam-packed of skill building, and it's going to lead you towards being able to charge premium pricing down the road to really make a big difference with your current clients and the future businesses that you can support. So to find out more, all you have to do is go to scalingdeep.com strategist and check out the program. And I invite you to apply so we can have a conversation to find out if it's the right fit for you. I really want to see more people thrive doing this work. I believe firmly that the world needs more strategists who actually know how to really help businesses. And I hope you can be one of those. So hop on over to scalingdeep.com/strategist and we'll kick this off.